Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry for the final part of my ranked adventures. And of course, I'm back in the Benham. And to be fair, so is everybody else almost. We've got double Benham in our team, and we are facing a double Prinz Ruprecht, a Udeloy, a Felix Schulz, and a Benham. We do have an Alaska and a Chungmu on our side, so there's some radars. But the Benham is just an all-around fun ship for this because of the sheer amount of torpedoes that she can spit out. I mean, she's generally a fun ship, but in a 5v5, the area denial can be a little bit more effective than in full-on battles. Anyway, I'm going to switch to the armor piercing with 3 enemy destroyers out there. Let's run up the engine boost, and I'm going to get into C cap and then immediately follow up into B. And it's not always clear where the enemy team is going to come through, but that gap there between the two islands is a relatively safe bet. So I'm going to drop some torpedoes in that general direction. And then I'm going to turn the ship around, and then I'm going to drop some more torpedoes in that general direction, which is no big loss in the Benham because she reloads the torpedoes very, very quickly. And C cap is secured. B cap is not yet being captured. But well, we'll see if our torpedoes can find something otherwise. Okay, now the enemy team's in B. So we're starting to see where the enemy ships are. And what do we have? It's the Felix Schulz. Now the Felix Schulz has a very distinctive problem. The Felix Schulz is a scout cruiser. But the 150s on that thing are so powerful that the armor piercing is going to overpenetrate destroyers at close ranges. So technically I would actually want to be closer to the Felix Schulz rather than further away from it. But I did want to make sure that I'm not getting into range of its sea mines. The Felix Schulz is smoking up, and this might also be from the German battle cruisers. They're firing the same sort of torpedoes. So it's the extremely slowly moving sea mine sort of things. Anyway, there's now 2 of us in B cap, which means the Felix Schulz is, but there is the Udeloy coming, and the Udeloy is a dangerous little destroyer. So I'm actually more concerned about that thing than the Felix Schulz. So let's drop some area denial torpedoes in a general direction, but it looks like the Udeloy wants to turn the other way. Is taking 1 torpedo, so I'm going to drop some more torpedoes in that direction, and he smokes up, and he might be able to just avoid these torpedoes without too much problems. Yep, there he comes. But the thing is, my first torpedo launcher is probably about reloaded. Plus, he's now coming under gunfire from 3 ships. So, while alone, I wouldn't want to go into a gunfight with a Udeloy in a Benham. If there's 2 of us plus an Alaska, that's an entirely different proposition. So the Udeloy is dunking his torpedoes and has realized that yes, he is now very much being outgunned here, and I don't have any trouble avoiding these. Iowa takes out the Udeloy, and that is the first casualty in the enemy team. We're holding 2 of the capture circles. That wasn't a terrible start to things. But then the Prinz Ruprecht takes out the friendly Alaska, and there's that Felix Schulz again, who doesn't seem to be using his guns an awful lot and might be running into a bunch of Benham torpedoes over there, which aren't the fastest by themselves, but it gives us an opportunity. He is relatively low on hit points now. Yep, there come the Felix Schulz the sea mines, and there's also the enemy Benham over there. So it's about time that we're going to be smoking up, because that enemy Benham is, well, capable of the same things that I'm capable of, and he is turning behind the island, so there's absolutely nothing I can do to torpedo him. In that case, I might as well actually just back off out of my smoke, because smoke screens attract torpedoes, and drop my torpedoes at the Prinz Ruprecht that is coming around there, rather than trying to torpedo a Benham at this range, which is never going to happen. I have lost one of my turrets, but, well, it's a Prinz Ruprecht. Actually, there are 2 of them. So this is mildly dangerous, but what an opportunity. I don't want to miss that. Okay, there come the Prinz Ruprecht's torpedoes, I think, or more Benham torpedoes, you never know. But all the torpedoes at the general direction of the Prinz Ruprecht. Unfortunately, that's a Prinz Ruprecht. And one does not simply sail next to a Prinz Ruprecht, much less 2 of the buggers, because this is what happens. And that's why I didn't use my Damacon to have to fix the gun turret earlier. Now I'm in a bit of a tough spot here. I'm sandwiched between an island and a Prince Ruprecht is shooting at me. That thing can make very short work of me. So I need to run away, and I'm down to 1001. I'm down to 90 hit points. That's 89 more than you really need, and I have a smoke screen ready. I'm not going to sit in the smoke screen, just so I don't get blind fired. I'm just going to use it to disengage here. And with 90 hit points, one of the auto secondaries of the Prince Ruprecht can finish me off. So for the next 16 seconds, I am very much a torpedo boat. However, that Prince Ruprecht is on very low hit points. So I'm going to drop some general torpedoes in his direction and then turn around and drop the other side while I am, well, not going to be using my guns for a little bit. But now we can recover a couple of hit points and drop a couple more torpedoes at that thing. That should be sufficient to sink it, right? So let's get back to the Benham. Benham is torpedoing things. So at least on this side, he's out of torpedoes for a minute. The Iowa is taking a couple here. Prince Ruprecht's, of course, shooting at me, although that might be the auto secondaries for that thing. And it's not that I'm having an awful lot of hit points. And I do get 2 torpedoes on target, but only 2 torpedoes. I'm not sure where the rest of them went. But that is actually not enough, so I may have to do something about that. The Prince Ruprecht decides that he wants to finish off the Iowa. There is the Benham on my other side, and I'm once again down to under 2,000 hit points. There come the secondaries, but I think I can finish off the Prince Ruprecht in time. I just have to be careful now about Benham torpedoes. So it probably pays not to remain in this smoke screen for too long. I'm just going to back off a little bit more here. But it's 2 destroyers now. So it's just the Benham and something else. And I'm back down to 500. Yep, there come the Prince Ruprecht's torpedoes. If he had spaced these a little bit better, he might have been able to catch me. But of course, I'm now more or less a one-shot kill, a one-shot gun kill for the Benham. And he's immediately trying with 500 hit points. But that's why I'm not sitting still in my smoke screen. And he hasn't been paying attention and run into the torpedoes from the friendly Benham. And that leaves the Felix Schultz, who's still around and is firing high explosive at the Chungmu, which is actually the right choice because the armor piercing is too powerful on these things, in that at least at closer ranges, that is just going to overpenetrate. But I have no such reservations, and I'm down again to 400 hit points, but I've got another heal coming off. So not 400 more than you need, and I'm back to 900. This is fine. Felix Schultz doesn't have any hit points either, and as long as I just dodge his fire, these things are very precise. 500 hit points, and I managed to gun down the remaining hit points of the Felix Schultz. Hit points. Who needs them? They're completely overrated, at least if you are in something as funny as the Benham. And this concludes my little ranked adventure that I was having while I was on holiday. And I hope you all enjoyed it over the last couple of days, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.